The early 2020s are almost over, so I feel like I can finally say that the definitive feature from hair in this time period has been the prevalence of bangs. Bangs have always been around, but it kind of seems like nowadays anyone who's like fashionable, artistic, or otherwise in the know about the cultural zeitgeist has bangs. Whether it's curtain bangs, baby bangs, micro bangs, just a straight across bang, or suddenly now we're entering the era of the side bang. It feels almost impossible to think about a time before this like cultural bang hegemony. Yeah, I use that. Yeah, I wanted to use that word. Did I use it right? I don't know. But if you think back to like the early 2010s or the late 2000s, bangs were like never a thing that you would see on like a cool girl in like a piece of media or like a pop star. Bangs were definitely a thing in like the 90s and the 2000s, but towards the end of the 2000s, you saw the shift from the straight across bang to the side bang. The way that my mind conceptualized this was the way that Hannah Montana's wig went from being a straight across bang to a side bang in like 2008. And then also just the portrayal of like uncool characters with bangs, such as Demi Lovato's character in Camp Rock. And then in the other movies, I think she went to having like a side bang or a side part instead of like the nerdy straight across bang. So it only makes sense that when I think about this 2020s bang phenomenon, I use the example of another notable Disney star. Sabrina Carpenter's bang is something that I could write thousands of pages about. It has been a straight bang. It has been a curtain bang. It's now currently kind of drifting towards side bang, but I'll get to that later. And I have theories behind why all this is important. Her bang is both reflective and prescriptive to our society, popular culture, popular bang culture, one might even say. It can be a little bit art girl, it can be a little bit clean girl, it can be a little bit Betty Boop, it can be a little bit pinup, it can be all of these different things. And I think that Sabrina Carpenter has great music. At no point do I want to imply that the only reason she's relevant is because of something visual about her. I never want to be in the business of owing a woman's success to the way that she looks. However, I do think that Sabrina Carpenter's visual in 2024 is somewhat of a stroke of genius. It exists at the intersection of science, math, art, technology, engineering, and it doesn't move on stage. The bang has been extensively covered in media, so I'm not the first person to yap about this, by far. And any time that somebody makes a tutorial, how to style your curtain bangs like Sabrina Carpenter, how to style your bangs like Sabrina Carpenter, how to cut your bangs like Sabrina Carpenter, it's basically a formula for going viral because everybody wants her hair. Sabrina Carpenter is currently like at the apex of her career. Her most recent album is by far her most popular. However, this is her 6th studio album. And she's had this like momentum from being a Disney star, but for the longest time, she definitely struggled to find her place in pop music. It's really exciting to see her find her place, find her voice, and find her vision. But my theory here is that I think part of this has been due to her bangs. And I here, as somebody who's really interested in like hair history and how hair reflects culture, I just want to analyze how the popularity of her bang has gone up alongside her career, the explosion of bangs alongside the explosion of Sabrina Carpenter's career in the early 2020s, and think about what that has to say about hair, basically. And culturally, what's coming next?
Which came first, the bang or Sabrina? For explosion or the explosion of the bang? Does she now have somewhat of a side bang because the side bang is coming back, or is the side bang coming back because she has somewhat of a side bang? And does she have a side bang just because of a cowlick? Or is the cowlick because of the side bang, because of the explosion of bang, because of the popularity?
We're going to start with some data. Anybody else love using data-driven analytics to drive storytelling and provide actionable insights to shareholders, or is it just me? I looked up on Google Trends to find out how often people have been searching Sabrina Carpenter, how often they've been searching curtain bang, and how often they've been searching Sabrina Carpenter bangs since like 2019. Very notably, these are all charts. These are all numbers. There are peaks and valleys, and there are numbers and data on there. So that's the first thing that you got to keep in mind. Interesting side note is that the top states to search Sabrina were Utah, California, Massachusetts, Arizona, and then Connecticut, which is this is a rich text. I feel like California and Utah are the blondest states, but in a bipartisan way. Like on both sides of the aisle, they're very blonde. So they're looking up this little blonde lady. So the first thing I want to note is that the peak in just pure Sabrina Carpenter searches was June 9th, 2024, but the peak in Sabrina Carpenter bang searches was the following week, June 16th to the 22nd, 2024. My theory right now is there tends to be like a peak in her career or a peak in interest about her, and then just the buzz kind of builds up. People see her bangs, they think about her bangs, and then they start Googling it the next week because they want to save it and show it to their hairdresser. At first, I wanted to just go through this chart by itself and then later go through her career and then compare the two, but I think what's going to be easier is just go through her career, go through the searches, and then like show a picture of the bangs as the career, as the searches, as the general interest like moves along. And then somewhere along the way, we'll have a thesis about that. For the life of me, I cannot find the exact time that she cut the bangs. We do know that she cut the bangs sometime around 2021, but her Instagram is like super sparse around that period. And when I look on Google Images, it seems like the earliest that she cut the bangs was like sometime around August of 2021. The only thing that I could find confirmed online is that she said that she cut them after a heartbreak, which a lot of people speculated to be after her relationship with Flopshua Bassett or whatever. I don't really care to speculate on that, but basically for like a really quick fill-in, Joshua Bassett was the guy that Olivia Rodrigo allegedly wrote Driver's License about. The blonde woman mentioned in it was supposed to be Sabrina Carpenter. I don't actually want to speculate or provide comment, so I'm going to leave that to somebody else. I'm sure somebody has a better explainer. I couldn't really confirm on Sabrina's Instagram if that was around the time that she cut her bangs. I'm assuming she either deleted a lot of the stuff that she had posted from that time, because as we all go back and delete our old Instagram posts, or maybe it was because of the like unwarranted harassment that she was receiving because of the whole drama situation. Regardless of the why, all I know is the because of that. There's not really much evidence online. So sometime during 2021, the bangs were cut. So I think I'm going to start this timeline around January of 2021 just to cover all of 2021 because I'm having a hard time discreetly defining when the bang came into fruition. In January of 2021, she signed with Universal Music Group's Island Records and she released her first single under the label Skin. January is also notably when Driver's License was released by Olivia Rodrigo, and that's what led to, I think, the spike in searches in early January for her. Okay, sorry, it got cold and dark, so sweater time. So July 3rd through 9th, 2021 is when there was the first like real spike that I'm gonna count of the search term Sabrina Carpenter bangs. But the images I found online of her like official bang launch would be August to September, though I did find some Twitter stans who posted about her bangs earlier than that. So officially, I think that the bangs came out around July of 2021. That's my statement. The first bangs that she cut were like a straight across bang, which is a pretty far cry from what the popular bang was at the time, which was a pretty long curtain bang that usually girls would get if they were used to having like a long layer. So to me, in my respectful opinion, the straight across bang was kind of giving cry for help. This poor woman was suffering from super unfair media attention. This is a very vulnerable bang to be getting around this time period, but a serve nonetheless. Throughout the fall of 2021, the bang does stay mostly straight across, though it is a fairly long bang and it is pretty sparse. Not a ton is going on in her career at this point, but she does release Skinny Dipping on September 9th, 2021. Around 2022, we see the bang to start curtain. We have parted the Red Sea, we've parted the bangs. And what is that about? Is that about growing out the bang? Is it a potential appeal to SEO? Are we trying to rebrand? Are we trying to create a style icon? Is this a move by her management? Or is this the follicles continuing to grow out of her head? April and May of 2022, we get peak curtain bang inspo on my Pinterest page. Yeah, this shit went double platinum on my own Pinterest account. The speed to which I ran to my hairstylist after I saw these images broke the sound barrier. At this point, there's peak curtain, there's no hair left in the middle. A lot of volume. At this point, it seems like she's still blow drying the bangs backwards. The style's giving Stevie Nicks, it's giving Farrah Fawcett, it's giving Matilda Durf, which was kind of what the peak style was in 2022. Though we do get some hints of some proto 2024 Sabrina Carpenter, aka a super over-directed curly bang. At this point in time, like spring 2022, not a ton is happening for her musically or just career-wise, other than her being in the Amazon film Emergency that released in May of 2022. But I didn't really know anything about that movie. I don't know about y'all. However, in July of 2022, she releases her 5th studio album, Emails I Can't Send. And this is around the time where I noticed she started curling the bang forward when styling. You can tell by like the way that it bumps here. And this is a huge turning point, not only for the bangs and the direction of the round brush, but for the conversation around Sabrina Carpenter. In her album, Emails I Can't Send, Sabrina addressed the misogynistic backlash that she received after her breakup and during her relationship with Flopshua Bassett. Allegedly, she did, in the song Because I Liked a Boy. At this point, she's taking ownership over her narrative. The tides are starting to turn in her favor. Public backlash has faded. Nonsense goes viral on TikTok. She's ready to move forward. This is the round brush going forward. She's moving forward. In August, she officially announces the Emails I Can't Send tour, and moment for the bangs here. This is like one of my favorite bang looks from her personally. This is what gets me out of bed in the morning. This is the type of bang that I try and recreate on my day-to-day. Yeah, a lot to be said about this. People hated this outfit, and I think it's perfectly fair because there were a lot of like weird cutouts in the dress. However, I think it kind of created a space for her team to experiment with how they wanted to do cutouts with her in the future, because a lot of like her outfits on her most recent tour have had a lot of like super cute cutouts that people love. I think this is when things were starting to go in the right direction for her creatively. I feel like this moment is when it kind of crystallized in my mind, and for a lot of people, like her Polly Pocket persona. Like the chunky headband and the very 2020s does 1960s florals on this dress just like scream current Sabrina to me. And it was such a good moment creatively, even though the dress was kind of weird. It was the right step. I don't know. In September of 2022, the Emails I Can't Send tour begins. We begin to see whispers of a side bang here, and I can't tell if that's purposeful. Now, getting into the physics of the bang, I can tell just by looking at enough photos of her bang that she clearly has a cowlick. Coming from a cowlick haver myself, you just can see these things on other people. If you have a cowlick, don't be scared. Other people can't notice it, just crazy girls like me. So I think like part of the bang going to the side is just due to the natural pattern and flow of her hair. But I just think it's interesting on how they don't really fight it anymore, because you can tell from her old bang that they were fighting it and they were keeping it very at the middle, but now they're starting to get more comfortable with it. And I also feel like this was around the same time that I started to first hear rumblings of the return of the side bang, or at least people predicting that it was returning. I wonder if her team was hearing about the same thing and was kind of like, screw it, we need to stop fighting this cowlick and just letting the bang go a little bit to the side because that's where things are going anyways. And if that's the case, that is a stroke of genius. November of 2022, the bang is longer here, and notably this is also when there is a lull in Sabrina Carpenter bang searches, and I'm not really going to ascribe any meaning to this other than the bangs were due for a trim. January of 2023, the bangs are back in a big way, and this time they're the version where they're short in the middle, longer on the side, and they're kind of the bang that can be worn as a straight bang, worn as a curtain bang. The defining popular bang style of around 2022 to 2023. Even now, there's another spike in Sabrina Carpenter bang searches at this juncture, and I think maybe part of that is the bangs, but also part of it is just like the new year and people wanting to redefine themselves and finding new inspiration somewhere else. I do want to highlight on the chart March of 2023, which is when we began to see a meteoric rise in searches for Sabrina Carpenter bangs. This also coincides with the deluxe release of Emails I Can't Send and a very powerful bang era for our diva. Really, when the curled forward, voluminous, slightly parted to the side, curled under bang that we began to associate with Sabrina Carpenter is solidified. In June of 2023, it's announced that Sabrina Carpenter is going to be opening for multiple shows of the Eras Tour. I think this is also when she was like unofficially introduced into the main pop girlies rank, which was really confirmed when she released Feather in August of 2023, which is a song that you still cannot escape every time you go on Instagram Reels. In October of 2023, she released the music video for Feather. She filmed it at the Blessed Virgin Mary Catholic Church in Brooklyn, New York. There was a ton of controversy about it from people in the Catholic Church, which as somebody raised Catholic, I'm gonna say, chill out. But her response was that Jesus was a carpenter. I have no choice but to stand. That is the funniest shit I've ever heard. Honestly though, I like understand why people could be offended about it. I'm not gonna completely push that under the rug. Like I think this is something that like my grandma would hate, but Jesus was a carpenter. She did obtain permission from the priest of the church. Subsequent investigation into the priest granting permission for Carpenter to shoot the video has been linked to a federal criminal investigation of the New York mayor, Eric Adams. But the bang in the video looks amazing. And that is fully to the side. At this point, she's still associated with the curtain bang so strongly, and to this day, I would say even unfairly. But that is a side bang. That is a side bang. Late 2023, then after this, and early 2024, things are kind of quiet. I'm gonna skip a lot of this because I'm getting too excited to talk about That's That Me Espresso. That's That Me Espresso. Oh, sorry, I'll be coming home late because I'm a singer. On April 11th, 2024, Sabrina Carpenter released Espresso, which she performed at Coachella the following day, and I am so jealous. The bang at Coachella is truly her magnum opus. I also feel that this was around the same time that her team really started to lean into and become comfortable with using a lot of like hair pieces and creating a ton of volume. Before, her team was probably using like extensions and stuff, like every celebrity does that, but they like really went into hair pieces in a very 1960s way that I super love. This is just when she became 2024's Dolly Parton in my mind. And she was working late, and she was working late because she was a singer, because then she released Please Please Please. This is just a super mega duper hit in a way that hasn't gotten out of my head since, and I actually don't even like to think about the song because then I'm haunted by it for days to come. The vocals are good, the aesthetic is defined, she is a Polly Pocket, she has the bang, she has the volume, she has the blush. She's somehow always this like full glam Dolly Parton package. And the media's obsessed. They're eating it up. Summer of 2024, you could not log onto the internet without being berated by TikToks, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts using a Sabrina Carpenter song and giving you a tutorial on her blush, on her makeup, on her hair, on her anything at all related to her was like guaranteed to perform. And then Short and Sweet comes out. And a lot of people said that it should have been released earlier in the summer, so it could have been the album of the summer. And a lot of those people might be sitting in the room with me right now, but I cannot confirm or deny if I'm the only one in here or not. Short and Sweet album cover. The bang here is fully a side bang. And I know that I've said that so many times, but it has never side banged harder than it side banged on the Short and Sweet album cover. It became very clear what it was. Before, it was like a slightly off part like situation, kind of I feel like following her natural pattern, and then here we commit. We get serious about being to the side. At this point, I cannot defend the people who are saying that Sabrina Carpenter has a curtain bang. I cannot defend the people making Sabrina Carpenter curtain bang tutorials. I cannot defend the hairstylists doing videos of showing other hairstylists of how to cut Sabrina Carpenter curtain bangs, because it's not a curtain bang. It hasn't been for a while. Y'all want to see a curtain bang, so you see a curtain bang, but what is truly there is a side bang. Interesting to think about the way that we filter our own perceptions and realities of the facts around us in order to fit the narrative that we want to believe. And how we even do that with a bang. Like, the way that you perceive the bang to be a side bang or a curtain bang is a Rorschach. I'm sorry, y'all. I looked up a video of how to pronounce it, but the guy who was doing it was British, so I don't trust him. So in September of 2024, the Short and Sweet tour officially begins. And this tour is visually stunning. Everything about it, the stages, the production, the little music videos that she does, it's so cheeky. She's so come into her own as an artist. The vision is so defined, and so is the side bang. At this point, I feel confident in saying that her transition from curtain bang to side bang coincided with her transition from like regular pop girly to superstardom. Hear me out. Because she became a trendsetter instead of just a trend follower. She became a culture definer. Her arc with the bang, in my opinion, can be described as the pre-bang period of being a Disney star, the original straight bang where she was kind of at odds with the public, the curtain bang where she came into favor a little bit, and then this side bang era where she became like widely beloved. I feel like at this point in time, you're hard pressed to find like girls, gays, theys who don't like her aesthetic. She's bringing along everyone with her. Most people look at her as like their sweet little Polly Pocket. That's that me espresso, as Maddie Healy tweeted. This wonderful package that you want in a superstar of wit, talent, great music, great vocals, being cheeky and confident in her sexuality, having great blush and bangs. And something that's so fascinating to me about it is how much of her appeal targets women in particular. Like, I cannot name a single man that I know personally whose celebrity crush is Sabrina Carpenter. And that's a good thing. The female gaze isn't real. but Sabrina Carpenter is pop culture's understanding of what the female gaze is. She's beautiful, fashionable, funny, smart. She has great makeup. She's this like perfect encapsulation of what every woman in the early 2020s wants to be. And she has great bangs to prove it. And if I were Sabrina Carpenter, I would probably have some silly tongue-in-cheek pun about bangs and getting banged or something like that. And I'm sure that she does somewhere, but I don't. To be completely honest with y'all, I don't know how to end a video. So this is the end of it. This is the end of my video because I don't know how to end one.